This is the strategy that works. We've been doing this for the last 3.5 years, and it's going to get the most levels of engagement.
This ain't this cause I say it respectfully. It's time to eat up, right like a speeder, taking it deeper, and that's how it better be. I never let the comparison get to me. I just remember the promises meant for me. I know the enemy and that he sent for me. I keep the blood of the lemons my centerpiece. I cannot trust in no crystals or energy. Look at the chemistry, it do not even mix chemically. Most of the tricks they be gimmicks, they mimic the truth. It's poison and we got the remedy.
Sure. And what we're looking for is people that are hungry, wanting to hustle, wanting to break through walls, wanting to go after that legendary status.
Show me the chicken, I'm frying it. They say you ain't about it. Tell them that you finna make it, but they doubt it. But you rose like the flower. Tell me what it's like to live with superpowers. I don't know, but I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I just know that I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it.
What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan. Today is Tuesday, so we're here to talk about industrial marketing. And today's topic is something we have not talked about in at least, I want to say, Laura, what, a couple months? It's been a while, and there's been a lot of changes. So if you guys are new to the content, head over to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. That helps us out to keep pushing out as much content as we have. If you're not used to the content, every Tuesday, unless I'm traveling, we come live on the subject of industrial marketing, and then twice a month we talk about industrial sales. I bring in Alex Brown, my sales manager, and we talk about a topic. The gist of the show, I'm going to talk for a little bit, go through a few bullet points. We'll take a break, then go to the comment section and then answer any comments, questions, things that you guys want to talk about live, and then we end the show. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to go over to LinkedIn and hit me on that follow. And if you guys are in this live right now, let me see some blue thumbs on LinkedIn to know that you can hear us and the feed is coming through good. Be sure to put a comment in the comment section and definitely ask any questions that you guys have, because this is certainly a slippery topic. So today we're talking about the secret power of SEO in industrial marketing. Laura, which camera is camera one? That one? Okay. So the secret power of SEO and industrial marketing. SEO, what does it stand for? Let's go through real quick the basics, then I'll go through my 5 talking points. Search engine optimization. What does that mean? That means that when you type something into Google, Google shows you up the results to try and say, hey, is this what you're looking for? And it tracks all that. This has been around forever, but there have been so many changes. So let's talk about the current, let's say, call it like the current state of search. Now, if you guys are using Google frequently, which I'm assuming that you do, because most of the world does, you may have noticed that there's now, sometimes depending on where you're located and whether or not you're a paying customer with Google, but you will start to notice the AI generation, and that is Google's Gemini, which is their AI platform, which is supposedly can process information like 10 times faster than ChatGPT and has a wider range of things that it can do. Of course, ChatGPT comes out almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years this November. Google, had to come out and say, hey, we got you one up. We're going to create our own AI. Other companies have released theirs. Microsoft has released Copilot, which is a pretty good system. But as you're typing in searches, what Google's toying with is Gemini showing up and saying, hey, before you scrolling down into the results, here's stuff that we have grabbed. It's almost like a ChatGPT type of feel, to where it's giving you the summary of the question that you asked by pulling information from the stuff that's out on the internet, right? So that's something that's new. And how is that affecting you guys that are trying to rank number one? Well, the more that you experience it, you just have to look at what the platform changes are happening. So by that taking up vertical real estate, meaning as you scroll, that's taking up a decent chunk, it's going to impact when you get to the organic first search results. So traditionally, you've got the ads at the top, then you've got sometimes some, depending on what you're searching, you've got Google Maps ads, or if you've got shopping ads. So like one of our clients that does significant amount of e-com in the industrial every single month, they've got the whole Google Merchant Center ads, which is like showing a picture plus the price and where you can buy it from. So you got that. Plus you've got sponsored search ads. Plus sometimes you got map ads. Then on top of that, you've got the FAQ section below it. And then you get into the organic results. That is all dictated by how competitive of a search phrase is it. So when you guys are thinking this, like current search, I want you to either do it right now, split this screen, or open up a new tab. Type in whatever your product or service category is. So if you're doing CNC machining, type in CNC machining in Chicago. If you're doing a product, type it in whatever the category is. If you're doing plastic pallets, recyclable pallets, or something like that, put it in service or product and see what the results are. Too often people are not really paying attention to the search side of it. And it's like, what happens when a potential customer does search for us and not the company name? And we'll get into that when we talk about keywords. Just the general phrase that you think people would search for. What do they see? And you'd be shocked at the results. We talk to clients every single day and potential clients, and we're like, dude, from a search standpoint, you guys are ranking for all of these keywords and not the right ones. So you're not even showing up. And it's really like the power of showing up on organic search is so underutilized in industrial because people don't think, either they think that people are searching for the wrong things and they're partnering with the wrong agency, or they don't think that they're searching for them at a high enough volume. And it's like, no, we don't need to worry about that. We tried, or we've got somebody that does that, and we spend X amount of dollars a month. But if the agency that you're working with isn't like MFG Tribe, where we know industrial, we know how to track this, then you're not going to be showing up at the top. So you have to constantly check and type in the phrases and the product categories and the products and stuff like that into the search box so you can start to experience what your potential customers are experiencing. You can start to look for clues and look for what's happening out there and who's making moves and who's showing up at the top. If you don't have a system like with SEMrush or Moz or Ahrefs or Screaming Frog or things like that, you don't have a subscription to an SEO platform that you're paying for where you can track all of the keyword positions, then you need to just go old school. Just type it in, what shows up. But keep in mind that it's using your location. So your current search is based on your location. Google's smart to it to where it knows you're in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's going to try and show results based on that. But you have to stay on top of the current search. The biggest change is Gemini coming out and what effects that's having and where is that organic search. Could it possibly mean that there's going to be a higher priority of ads because you want to go up to the top? Possibly. What you have to keep in mind, you can Google search this to fact check me. If you say what percentage of people click on an ad in general in search phrases, it's about 30% of people are clicking on ads, roughly. First position, all of the experts will say 25 to 30% of the people click on the first organic position. So 30% of the market's going to click on the ad, and then 25 to 30% is going to click on the first position, and then go to the second organic position. It's like, it drops off. It's like less than 20. It's like 15 to 17. Third one, now you're into the single digits, like 9, 10, 11% maybe. Fourth and fifth, now you're into the like 2, 3, 4% of people click there. So it used to be, the old joke in the industry used to be, if you want to bury a body, bury it on page 2 of Google. And now it's like with the continuous scroll, which I've noticed recently. I did some search stuff last week and the pages were back. And I'm like, what is Google trying to do here? They went to continuous scroll and remove pages, and now the pages were back last week. So maybe they're playing with it because people didn't like it. But it used to be page 2 of Google. Now it's turning into, if you're not in the top 2 or 3, you may as well be lost. But you have to be tracking this so you can see I'm at position 20, 18, 12, 2, position 1 at the top. That's a goal. But the current state of search has changed so drastically with Gemini being released, and that's just them testing it in beta. Now you can pay for it. I think it's $30 a month to unlock Gemini to where it's always there, but they're constantly going to be throwing out that in like every other or every 5th search you do. It's going to give you a taste of it to try and convince you, hey, this was a good summary that it gave me, and it gave me good links to go to, and it gave me my answer to my question or the answer to what I'm looking for right then and there in the summary. So I want to pay for this. That's what their ultimate goal is. But for you guys, people are going to be searching in like, what's the best type of steel for this or plastic for that, or what are 6 ways, or what's some ways to increase my operational efficiency at my manufacturing company. Gemini will give you probably some good indications of what it should be. But when people are looking for suppliers and looking for specific products, Gemini is not going to be able to provide that, because that they know that you're not just looking for a short answer, you're looking to do some research on your own. So then it's going to possibly remove Gemini from the search and focus more on pushing those organics to the top. But stuff is changing. You guys got to get with the times, because it's not going to go back to the way it was before. Every single month, Google's making adjustments to show you guys the best possible search results, and they're going to continue to do it. Let's go into bullet point number 2, keywords and phrases. The keywords that you think that people are searching and the phrases that you think that people are typing in often are not the actual phrases that people are using. Now, in the industrial world, unless you have a product or a bit like, unless it's a physical product like a tool or a robot or something like that, like a physical product, or unless it's like SaaS related, like ERP software for manufacturers, those have high search volumes and high in regards to competing with everybody else. So you can get into the thousands of monthly searches in the United States alone on stuff like that. When you get into the niches, when you get into CNC machining, turning, lathe, aerospace manufacturing, stuff like that, lower search volumes. You're talking about less than 1,000. There could only be 320 on average people a month in the United States searching for your service. So it's not super high. And most SEO agencies are used to dealing with the B2B, B2C stuff with high numbers. They don't really know what to do with the lower stuff. But we play in those lower categories about half the time. Our clients are competing for phrases that have lower search volume, less than 1,000. And the other half of the time, we've got clients that are competing for high stuff. So we get a good mix of it. And what we always come across is that, number one, any potential new customer we talk to and any new client that we bring on, I want to know, and I just use SEMrush for this, what are they currently ranking for? And you can find this for any company. So we do it for ourselves, plus our competitors, plus our clients and their competitors, plus any potential clients. We'll be on a discovery call with you. And the first thing we'll do before the call is pull it up in SEMrush and look at how are people currently finding you on search? And then we'll get some information from that. And most often, more than 50 to 60%, sometimes drastically higher, of people's current organic traffic is coming from a branded search phrase. And branded meaning it's got your company name in it. That should really be like 30% or less, ideally. You do not want 60 to 80 or 95% of your traffic coming from a branded search phrase. That just means that people that know you, they type in your company. That's good. You've got brand awareness. But if that's driving 90% of your traffic or even 70% of your traffic, everybody else that doesn't know you, they're never going to come across you. So you have to focus on the areas where you're lacking, which is the general search phrases, products, services, location, etc. You have to focus on that so that when people type in that phrase, you're actually going to show up. So that's the starting point, is what percentage of your traffic is coming from branded or not. Again, keep it less than 30. That should be the goal. If you're at 97% of traffic organically comes to your site from searching for your company name, that means you've done an amazing job to build out your brand, but you've missed an entire market on search. So they're going to go to the competitors. Now, even looking at the intent behind the keywords and phrases, SEMrush will show you this is an intent for commercial purchase. This is intent for navigational. This is intent for educational. They're trying to learn more about, whereas this other one, this is transactional. They think, SEMrush will say, we think that based on this search phrase, somebody's looking to buy something or looking to find a solution to their problem. Most oftentimes it's wrong. It's not really super accurate, but you have to understand the intent behind why somebody's searching. They could be looking for you. They could be looking to do business and solve a problem. They could be a competitor doing research. They could be somebody from offshore trying to steal your information. Could be so many different things, but why not show up first? You're missing out on an entire demographic. Industrial companies will spend money on trade shows and significant money on ads, $2,000, $20,000, $60,000 a month on ads. But they're like, yeah, organic SEO, we're not even going to focus on that. But it's free. Like once you build it up, then the maintaining it, it's relatively free to maintain that in comparative to running paid ads and competing with everybody and doing a cost per click. So looking at your keywords and phrases, You type in your company name, you're probably going to show up because most likely you're in the same location as your company, and it's going to show up based on that location. But what's cool about SEMrush and the way that we look at it is that we pick multiple locations. You've got nationally, what are you ranking? Then you've got per city, per zip code, per location. We want to look at multiple search places because all of our clients' customers are not in one central location. If we have a client in Minneapolis, we're not just focused on what are the search results in Minneapolis, what are they ranking in Minneapolis, what are their competitors in Minneapolis. That's one of them, but you also have to think about everywhere else. So you want to pick other relevant cities, big cities. Where do you guys get your customers from? Oh, most of our customers, we pulled it out of our system. We got 20% in Chicago, 50% in New York, Charlotte, Florida, all over the place, and then small little spurts in the Southwest. So we want to make sure that we're tracking their keywords, phrases, and positions against their competitors in all of those different locations. Because if you're just doing a single location, you're missing out on massive opportunities to look at where we, like this dude in Chicago is going to type me in. I should be number one because that's what this data is showing me, but really you're not. You're number 21 over there because there's more people that are competitive and focusing on that. So you really have to start with, what are we ranking for and what do we want to rank for, to develop the strategy of, do we want traffic to a specific page? Do we want traffic to these service pages, these industry pages? What should that be? What are people typing in? Are they typing in med device plastic suppliers? Are they typing in aerospace machine shops? You have to think about it. You have to look at your competitors, look at what they have their stuff set up to. Go into Google, type it in. This is if you don't have the tools. If you have an agency, or if you don't have an agency, just work with us and we'll do all that work for you. We've got a whole team that does it. But if you don't have that, then you have to go old school and just type stuff in. But that's where something like SEMrush, and we're not a paid partner or affiliate or anything like that. There's no link for you to click, just Google it. They, for like $100 a month, maybe $200 a month, you can track all your own stuff. But you have to figure out, what are we ranking for and what changes do we want to make? And then that gets us into bullet point number 3. And like, to me, this is just simple information, but to the industry, this is like secret, which is why we called it the secret SEO strategy. But number 3 is on-page SEO. What does that mean? That means the technical SEO to your page that's telling Google when it crawls it what you want to rank for. There's on-page SEO, and there's off-page SEO. On-page SEO has to do with your website. Off-page SEO has to do with articles from other places that are bringing in traffic with backlinks and people referring to you. But the on-page SEO, in my opinion, is way more important. So you want to check your on-page SEO. Go to your homepage, pull up a browser tab, go to your homepage, go to any page on your site, and at the tab at the top, hover over it, and something will pop up, some text. That is your meta title. A lot of our clients initially, it says home. It says their company name. That meta title, along with the description and some other areas, are telling Google what you want to rank for. So you've got your meta title, you got your meta description. When you type in a search, those results that come up, the blue hyperlink is that page's meta title. The description below it is the meta description. There's rules to it. There's a strategy behind how you want to do it, but you have to do something strategic. Now you go into your products pages or service pages, those should also be focused on it. If you got an application, if you got an aerospace page in your CNC machine shop, that page's meta title should be aerospace CNC machining, and then maybe your company name after a comma or a vertical bar or something. It should not just say aerospace, because you're telling Google you're trying to rank for aerospace, and that's wrong. That's too competitive. Like, you're trying to go after everybody that's just trying to go after aerospace. So you have to be specific on every single main page of your site. When we build new websites, we do the strategy with it. But your on-page SEO is your meta title, your description, your H1 tag, which is your heading 1, your H2 tags, your H3 tags, alt tags on images, which is like, if this image doesn't show up, what text is going to show up? It better be relevant to that page. Let's stick with the aerospace. Aerospace CNC machining, or precision aerospace CNC machining, is the meta title. Description, you've got, I think it's 158 characters for your description. You should talk about that. If you don't put anything in, the systems and Google is going to automatically pull stuff from your site to make it make sense. But you really want to direct Google and say, this is what I want it to show up. That's your meta description. Your H1 tag is the first usually the biggest text on your page. It should say something like aerospace CNC machining. And then talking about what you're doing. You should be saying that word X amount of times, keyword density of 0.5% to 1.5% on the page for the main keyword. Your H2 tags are going to be all your subheadings. CNC milling work, CNC lathe work, gear manufacturing, 5-axis machining. Those are all H2 tags. And then H3 tags are less important from there. And I think you get the hint. It's just like building out an outline for an article or a paper. You got your headline, your main title of it, then you've got all of your subheadings, so on and so forth. But your on-page SEO has to be updated. If not, you're just allowing Google to look at your page, read all the copy quickly, and determine what does Google think that you are trying to rank for? What were your intentions with this page? And they do a pretty good job with it, but why not tell them what you want? So you have to fix your on-page SEO. You will never get anywhere quickly or see significant increases in rankings if you do not fix your on-page SEO. It has to be strategic. Taking a step further, a secret is in an ideal state, your meta title, the main keyword phrase you're going after for that specific page is in the URL. That's the slug. So your ABC company / aerospace -CNC - machining. You're trying to rank for aerospace CNC machining. Your URL is aerospace CNC machining with dashes in between. Your meta title is it. Your description has the words in it. Your H1 tag is aerospace CNC machining. You say that 0.5 to 1.5% of the total copy. Your density is 0.5 to 1.5 for that phrase across all the copy. That's how you're going to force Google, like, Google, this is what I'm trying to rank for. You look at your competitors. You want to do some research on them to figure out what they're ranking for if you don't have the tools. These wheels aren't locked. All you do is go to their website, go to their services, go to their industry pages, hover over the top. That'll give you a hint. Are they using customized meta titles? Are they telling Google what they want to rank for? You can do all of that research on anybody for free, just spending a little bit of time. That's the on-page SEO. So if you're like, man, this company keeps competing with me, XYZ, and we're ABC and we're better. Okay, go to XYZ's page. Their homepage, a lot of times isn't optimized, but go to their homepage, hover over the tab at the top in your Google Chrome tab, or if you're still using Internet Explorer or something like that. Just hover over it, pops up. That's what they're basically trying to rank for. Then you can look at the biggest text. If you want an ultimate hack, and for those of you they're techie out there and nerdy, do this in Chrome. It's so easy. Pull up any web page in Chrome, your competitor's page. Right-click and go down to View Page Source. As soon as you click View Page Source, another tab's going to pop up, and it's going to show you all of the code for that web page. Then you hit on a Mac Command F or Control F, a find box will pop up, and you want to type in H1 and hit enter, and then use a little cursor to go through. Where is the H1 tag on their page? And you'll notice at some point you'll see greater or less than symbol, H1, greater than symbol, something like that, depending on how they have their code set up. And then you'll see the phrase, and it should be at the top of the page, whatever their main keyword phrase is in the biggest text or the boldest text is typically their H1, because that's just how developers will develop it to stand out, because they know that this is important. So that's the H1 heading, text size, font type, etc. But if you go into the page source and you type in find H1, you can see what is their H1, and then boom, you got that. Change it to H2. Look at all their different H2s that they have. So like, there's so much information that you could find out if you don't want to pay for subscriptions. If you want to pay for a subscription, the fastest way to find the H tags and the meta title and description is through Screaming Frog. It crawls the page, crawls the site, spits it out, and says, here's a spreadsheet, here's the page, H1 tag, H2 tags, etc. It gives you all the information. It's relatively cheap. I think it's like $50 or $100 a month. But you got to look at the on-page SEO. If you're like, I have no idea what my competitors are going for and I'm starting off from scratch, if you've got money to spend, and you want to have somebody just do it all for you and figure it out and get you to dominate, just reach out to us and we'll take care of it. Go to our site, book time to talk. But if you were like, dude, I just want to do this on my own, that's the way to do it. Look at your competitors, hover over the top, view their page source. You can get so much information. Let's go into bullet point number 4. How long? How long is this going to take you to do? How long is it going to take to get you to see results? Well, that depends on a lot of things. But people always ask us that when we have discovery calls. And if SEO is part of the strategy, they're trying to show up higher on search. It's like, guys, how long do you think this is going to take? It could be 60 days to get you very quickly to the top. It depends on the competitiveness of the keyword, how many other people are trying to rank for it, but actively rank for it, not just competitors in the space, but how many people are actively trying to go against it. And then the popularity of the keyword phrase. So you've got the difficultiness of the keyword based on competitors, and then you've got the popularity of it. If there's 15,000 people searching a month, then there's going to be decent competition for it because obviously there's a need. But it really just comes down to that. How many people are going after it? So 60 days, if the people that are going after it, let's say there's 100 companies going after the same phrase that you do, but their SEO sucks because they're just doing it on their own, or they partner with an agency that doesn't really know the space, then you can go quickly, 60, 90 days, 120 days. If there's a lot of people competing, then it could take you 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. It could take you 2 years to get to page 1 or to the top position. But it's all about consistency. Do the on-page SEO, do off-page SEO, track what your competitors are doing, track what changes Google makes to the algorithm, make adjustments to your SEO strategy based on that. This is not a set it and forget it. Just do it once. We've got a new site. The SEO is good. Yes, good for now until Google makes a change to their algorithm, which they do multiple times a year, and then you're impacted by it. So you have to be on top of it. So it can take a while. This is a patience game. This is a game this is not the tortoise and the hare. This is not the hare winning. This is the tortoise winning. Slow and steady, consistency, doing it every single month, more and more, building it out. You know what also helps? Building out more pages. Some of our clients have 140 pages. Their competitors have 3,000. Well, the 3,000 page site is telling Google we're the experts, and your 100-page site is saying you're the experts too, but Google's like, I don't know, man. I've got 5 other people with multiple thousands of pages that is optimized for SEO and it's good content. And they're saying that they're the expert. back running off of my phone's hotspot because our company's internet just went out. So I don't even remember what point I was talking about. Do you remember where I was? How long? We were talking about how long. So it can take a while. It's a long-term play for your SEO. Let me see if I can get back in here to let people know, hey, we're back.
I can post.
Post it? Okay. So while Lara's doing that, to try and get you guys back in, we are back. So apologize if it's grainy, running off my phone, multiple cameras, multiple devices. So last bullet point, tracking. How are you guys going to track this? You have to track performance in a monthly basis. So the way we do it is we look at where did you start in the month, where did you end in the month. If you track it daily, you're going to drive yourself crazy because the results are going to go up and down. You're going to be gaining 3 positions one day, losing 5 the next, gaining 6, back and forth, back and forth. What you're looking for is stability and movement in the right direction. If you started at position 20 in the beginning of July and you end up position 18 at the end of July, everything's good. Keep creeping up. You don't want to see any 2 steps back unless there's been an algorithm change. But at the same time, you also want to track your competitors. So if you did have a SEMrush license, you can set up a project, track all of your main keywords that are important to you, add in 3-4 competitors to it. Where are they ranking for those keywords, and set the location to be multiple locations nationally in the US, plus your local and your city and state, plus other areas that are high density of the potential customers you have. So for us, we work with people all over the United States and including globally. But from a search standpoint, I'm trying to really compete in the US. So we picked massive hotspots of industrial companies, and we're tracking and ranking for those keywords in those locations and seeing. We may be at position 34 for this one in Chicago, but then in Florida or in Orlando or Tampa or Charlotte or New York, we're at position 4. So we want to track all those because we want to make sure that we're getting general movement across the United States. And you guys are probably no different. You want to look for those phrases that are important to you, track your results on a monthly basis. Don't do anything crazy, because if you notice something and say, oh, we slipped positions, I need to make a change to keyword density, to the meta title description, on-page SEO, etc., then you're going to be reacting too quickly, and a lot of times you bounce back. So if you got to give it a couple months before you make any drastic changes, but you really want to focus on monitoring this, first do all of the auditing, set yourself up correctly, make massive changes to it. Then you can ask Google to re-index it by going to Google Search Console. Just Google search that, Google Search Console. If you don't already have access to it, you're going to have to verify your domain that you have authority over it, and you have the ability to make the changes. And then from there, you can request indexing from Google. So you make an update to a page, request indexing. You're up to Google's standards of they will search and they will re-index you and crawl your site and all that stuff when they see fit. You can't force them to do it. It's not like once you click that button, it happens. I think they have 28 days to re-crawl you based on a request. And if you do it multiple times within a month, they're not going to crawl you multiple times. They're just going to be like, we already know that you asked us to crawl you, chill out. But you have to monitor these results, but you got to track it against competitors. You can monitor just yourself, but looking at competitors is the best way to do it. So guys, we're going to take a short break and try and run this demo clip and come back and answer any questions or comments you have. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. We're here to answer some questions. Everybody's looking at me like, how are you still live? Yeah, we're using a hotspot. Why is it? Oh, my thing may have gone out. Are we still good? Yeah, we're still good. Laura says we're good, then we're good. All right, let's go to the comments. To the comment section. What do we got? Comments, questions, concerns.
There was
a bunch of
questions on here before the internet issue. Now I can't find them. So let me go over to LinkedIn and look for them and come back.
So, comment number 1 from Tim Drinkwater says constantly changes. Yeah, that's right, Tim. There are constant changes to the algorithm. It's like the goalpost is constantly being moved. It's like a game of cat and mouse. Google is the mouse and you're the cat. You got to chase that thing. And then once you get to the top, then you eat it up. Destroy that mouse. Right, Shelby? Shelby says, yes, sir. Tim Drinkwater also says, how do you feel about keyword domains set up with landing page or a redirect? So you have to look at it like this. The authority of your website increases the more that you rank, the more backlinks, the longer it's been on the internet, etc. There's a domain authority score to your website. You start basically at like 2. If you look at mainstream media outlets, they're in like the 70s, 80 level. You're not going to get there anytime soon. Your goal should be get to 20, 30, maybe 40 over a few years. And so if you're trying to get a page to rank, you want to stick it with your main website and just do a / and a specific landing page. If you do not have much domain authority, you can do specific domains that are specific to it. But it's like, remember what I said, the URL slug / whatever your industry is or service. If you can put that in the company or in the main domain, that's ideal. I'm getting super choppy on my side. That's ideal. Is that if you're going after aerospace CNC machining and your website URL is aerospace CNC machining, you're telling Google again, this is what I want to rank for. So it's good. And this is where people get into, they own these domains and they're going to sell them to you for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, or they'll try and sell you a domain that has a high domain authority and you buy it and improve on it. That's where the brokering comes in. I don't play in that world. I think that that's stupid and ridiculous. I'll just build it up from scratch if I need to. But we try to avoid doing domain changes. I actually have a meeting in about 2 hours with a client that's thinking about doing that. And I'm going to come with data to support that they should probably not change their domain based on the authority and the scores that they already have.
We have a comment from Zach Russell. What do you think influences your ranking on a Google search? Just SEO, or is it SEO, reviews, click on site, keywords, etc.?
Yeah, so it's SEO, but it's all encompassing. So you got to think of it like this. Google's going to show a result. If people click that result and stay on the page and go deeper into the site, then Google says this was good. If the person does all that and then completes a purchase because Google's tracking everything, then it's even better. If somebody clicks on your site and hits the back button, Google's going to penalize you to whatever their algorithm penalizes you to. So it all goes into play. Time on site, page depth, pages per visit. Was there an actual purchase made? Google's tracking all that. So the more likelihood, like all that they want is when somebody searches something, they provide them with the results that are a fit and that you get the answers to your question. They know that if you hit the back button or close out of your browser after that, that you probably didn't get the answer, so they're not going to push that site as much. That's relatively speaking. They're not going to be like one person did it, remove them from position 1. There's a whole algorithm built around understanding user interface and the behavior that they do. So it all matters, but the thing is that you're not going to get to play in the game if you're riding the bench on position 5 and above. So to get an at-bat and to get to play the game, you got to get to number 1. To get to number 1, you don't necessarily have to have a ton of time on site for that page. One hack that we do with all of our clients, and we've been doing this since 2017, is they're going to go to a trade show. We create a specific page for that trade show search phrase. So like we're going to be exhibiting at FabTech this year. So our site / FabTech-2024 is if it's a common search phrase, if it's got volume behind it, we'll create a page for that. We're going to want to try and drive traffic to it so that when somebody does type in FabTech 2024, we are trying to compete with the actual trade show itself. And so there's little hacks that you can do to try and get to the top. Now, is that going to bring in a ton of traffic that's like, oh, I was looking for you guys? No, People are typing it in to understand what location is it, what cities is it in, what convention centers in, all that stuff. We're just trying to get into the top 3 so we can at least get brand awareness. So it's not contingent upon traffic and clicks, but it's contingent upon getting to the top. People have to go to your site and stay there for at least a couple of pages to convince Google that you are the answer to their problem.
We have a YouTube comment from Massetti. I hope I didn't butcher that pronunciation.
You probably did.
What if you are really niche?
And
that's it.
Oh, so
if you're really niche.
Then it should be easier, right? Somebody told me 6 years ago, the riches are in the niches, and snitches get stitches. But the riches are in the niches, and so if you've niched down and you only do one thing for one specific industry or one specific problem, then you should be able to easily rank for that because there's less competition typically when you get that hyper focused. Now, there's also going to be less search volume. So here's a situation that I've been dealing with for 9 years. People don't know that industrial marketing is a thing. They think it's just B2B. So they type in B2B marketing agency, Chicago, B2B marketing agency, Minneapolis. They get all those people, but they're missing out on the people in the niche, like metal stamping marketing agency. If there is one, they're not getting a huge search volume because people don't know that they exist. So you have to try and compete with search volumes and phrases of what your potential customer is searching for just because they don't know. It's no different than we talk to companies and we're like, what's your product or service? Oh my God, this is revolutionary. Nobody else is doing it. Cool. Nobody else is doing it. You're the only one out there. Your competition is traditional then. Whatever people are currently using, if you've got a smart light switch when they first came out, and you're like, we've got light switches that you can Bluetooth connect into and connect to devices. Like, I don't want to say her name because she's in the room and she'll be like, what do you need, Kyle? But devices like that start with an A and you can control it. But when they first came out, they're competing with traditional light switches. They're competing with Bluetooth technology type devices. So people aren't typing in Bluetooth light switch or smart light switch. The volume wasn't there. Once it hit market, then that search phrase became more popular and then it went up in the trends. But in the meantime, you're searching for people that are going after traditional solutions or adjacent technology type of phrases. So if you're in a niche, you have to think, what are people searching for that's not the niche because they don't know that you exist? Then go after that. And then eventually, maybe after years, your niche gets bigger and people know to search for you. Laura says that's it. Guys, so we're gonna jump off so I can stop using my hotspot to run this feed. I can figure out what's going on with the internet and eat some lunch. If you guys got value out of this, share it with somebody you know. Head over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. If you're not following me on LinkedIn, go over to LinkedIn, give me that follow. And if you want to listen to this in podcast form, every major podcast platform, type in Industrial Sales and Marketing with me, and I will see you on the next one.